es den zweiten Boulder-Sieg von Jakob Schubert im zweiten Boulder-Bewerb? Das ist jetzt eine dieser Fragen, die brennen und wo wir in den nächsten Minuten und Stunden Antworten suchen. An einem Ort, wo Jakob Schubert schon richtig viel gewonnen hat, beispielsweise einen Weltmeistertitel. Willkommen in der Kletterhauptstadt Innsbruck.
右ガバ OK そのまま今度10時ですアンダー右ないですそのまま行っちゃっていいよ
Große Bilder, große Emotionen und vor allem viel Publikum, Anna, wenn man das anschaut. Das sind Bilder wie aus einer fremden Welt, vor allem wenn man jetzt weiß, dass einige Bewerbe, die vielleicht noch stattgefunden hätten, zu Corona-Zeiten wahrscheinlich auch gar nicht stattfinden. Wie schaut es momentan aus im Weltcup zu Zeiten Coronas?
Die Klettersaison hat es natürlich schon recht hart getroffen. Normalerweise starten wir im März. Jetzt sind alle Bewerbe bis auf Weiteres gestrichen. Der einzig bestätigte Termin ist Ende August, der Weltcup in Briançon, ein Vorstiegsbewerb. Der findet bestimmt statt. Auf alle anderen Bewerbe muss man warten.
Darum haben wir gesagt, wir klettern mit Österreich, mit Deutschland und der Schweiz, die Jungs besichtigen fürs große Finale. Aber bevor wir uns den Favoriten hier zuwenden und der Entscheidung, schauen wir einem echten Wunder mal ganz genau auf den Felsen, denn das ist im Ötztal, in Niedertay zu Hause und wir stellen euch in diesem Zug immer eine besondere Great Line vor, ein echtes Wunder aus dem Ötztal, bevor wir hier zurück sind am Kunstfels.
Heute war die Nina Caprese dabei.
Nina Caprese was here today. When I come here with somebody who doesn't know Niederthey, these are the routes I like to show them. The route is called The Miracle and is definitely one of the best climbs I know.
Routen, die wir kennen.
Nina loved the route. She didn't expect to find a crack like this in Niederthey. The cool thing about the route is that it is obvious where you have to climb. There aren't many options on the face. When you stand in front of it, then this is the route you notice straight away. The route is not too hard, so I climb it almost every time I'm in Niederthey. There are not many cracks in Tyrol, so it's a special route we have here. In rock climbing, everyone is looking for that route where you think, I want to go back again and again to try it. I want to spend lots of time and energy on it because the route is so cool.
Und jetzt ist der Klettersommer hier in der Leichtathletikhalle des Kletterzentrums in Innsbruck. Wir stehen vor dem Boulder-Finale, aber bei dieser Summer Series zählt nicht nur Bouldern und Vorstieg, sondern auch Speed. Und im Speed haben wir letzte Woche den ersten Bewerb gehabt mit einem neuen österreichischen Rekord. Zum ersten Mal unter 6 Sekunden, Anna. Was hat das für internationale Bedeutung, dass jetzt auch in Österreich schnell geklettert wird?
Ja, das hat schon eine Riesenbedeutung vom Tobias Blanker, der diese Schallmauer von 6 Sekunden erstmals als Österreicher durchbrochen hat. Mit 5,981 Sekunden hat er das quasi total gerockt. Also Wahnsinnsleistung vom Tobi hier, auch noch ganz herzliche Gratulation. Ja, im internationalen Vergleich, der Weltrekord der Herren liegt bei 5,48 vom Iraner Rezi Alipur, aufgestellt 2017. Und ja, der Tobi ist da wirklich dabei.
Ein gelernter Bodybuilder, muss man dazu sagen, der Iraner. Jetzt sehen wir Lukas Knapp, der das Finale gewonnen hat, weil der österreichische Rekord in der Qualifikation aufgestellt wurde. Aber Lukas Knapp haben wir natürlich auch für ein Statement überreden können.
Ich sage mal so, dass die Woche und nächste Woche war einfach für mich ein bisschen Fitnesstest, dass ich wirklich sehe, wo bin ich im Wettkampf. Bei dem Training und Wettkampf ist schwer zum Vergleichen. Und das Ziel für nächste Woche war bei mir, jetzt nicht unbedingt wieder gewinnen, ist sicher auch schön, aber für primär war jetzt eine bessere Zeit nochmal, vielleicht eine neue Personal Best und dann schauen, was mit der Zeit geht.
Das ist die Entscheidung im Speed. Jetzt die zweite Entscheidung im Boulder. Da werden die Speedathleten eine geringere Rolle spielen. Eine große spielt wieder Jakob Schubert. Der ist jetzt auch aus dem Semifinale wieder als die Nummer 1 hier reingekommen. Kurzer Rückblick zu letzter Woche. Er hat aber Probleme gehabt wieder auf der Platte. Die liegt ihm weniger, oder?
Ja, das ist sicher das Terrain, wo er sich am wenigsten zu Hause fühlt, sagen wir es einmal so. Bei allen anderen Bouldern hat der Jakob einfach dermaßen die Nase vorn. Das ist wirklich beeindruckend. Aber ich bin mir sicher, dass der Sascha Lehmann aus der Schweiz ihm ein gutes Duell liefern wird. Neben natürlich dem weiteren Österreicher Georg Barmer und Kim Marschner aus Deutschland. Also ich bin gespannt, was die Jungs uns heute hier zeigen werden.
Sie besichtigen, wir blicken zurück zu letzter Woche. Das war letzte Woche. Jetzt schauen wir uns die Top 3 für dieses Finale an. So steht es nach dem Semifinale. Wir beginnen mit der Schweiz. Sascha Lehmann startet aus der 3. Position.
Ja, und der Sascha hat halt wirklich überzeugt. Er ist rausgekommen und hat eine brillante Performance abgelegt. Ich muss sagen, er hat sich wirklich sehr, sehr stark gezeigt in diesem Halbfinale. Ich glaube, er war nicht ganz zufrieden mit dem 5. Platz letzte Woche. Der ist heiß aufs Podest.
Der ist auch momentan die Nummer 2 in der Gesamtwertung. Als die Nummer 2 nach dem Semifinale des Boulderns sehen wir Georg Barmer, der hat sich wesentlich verbessert.
Ja, und auch der Georg hat wirklich eine sehr starke Halbfinalleistung heute hier gezeigt. Die Platte souverän gemeistert, wo viele Athleten Probleme hatten und dann die anderen Boulder Nummer 2 und 3 auch in einer super Manier geklettert. Ja, auch bei ihm wird es bestimmt spannend heute.
Ja, und dann auf der 1 Jakob Schubert. Letzte Woche als die Nummer 1 gestartet im Finale, hat er durchgezogen und er wirkt speziell nach dem Lösen der Platte sehr gelöst. Ja,
er wirkt wirklich befreit, hat letztes Mal größere Probleme gehabt und ja, wir hoffen auf ein spannendes Finale.
Nur noch wenige Minuten, dann geht es da los. Jetzt sind die Jungs in der ISO-Zone. Anna, ganz kurz Einblick. Wie hast du dich in diesen finalen Minuten vorbereitet? Wenn du jetzt nicht als die Nummer 1 da rausgekommen bist, sondern ein bisschen länger Zeit gehabt hast? Ja,
normalerweise versucht man da schon nochmal wirklich in sich zu gehen. Vielleicht die Boulder, die man gerade besichtigt hat, nochmal im Kopf mental durchzugehen und sich halt total rein zu zoomen und volle Konzentration, um dann Gas zu geben, wenn man draußen an der Matte steht.
Jetzt lassen wir es krachen. Willkommen zum Finale der Herren. Bouldern, der zweite Bewerb.
Welcome back to Innsbruck. 1 week on exactly, timing's immaculate as ever in Austria. We are back with the second of the men's finals of this Austrian Climbing Summer Series. 1 week ago we were right here in the Sillside Athletic Park, right next to the famous Kletterzentrum in Innsbruck, and we're back here for another final. And many of the names are the same, but a couple of new faces in as well. Charlie Bosco here with Anna Stor alongside me, as she was for the semi-finals this morning. And very entertaining semi-finals they were as well.
Yeah, hello everybody from my side. Yeah, I really enjoyed watching the semi-finals. Everyone with 3 tops advanced to the final round.
Quite amazing how the route setters do that. 6 people get 3 tops. They judge the level pretty well.
Yeah, it's definitely a very tough job for the route setters. I know some of the athletes weren't quite satisfied with the setting because the slab was all that mattered in semi-finals. But of course, yeah, sometimes that's what counts. It was particularly a bad day for Nikolai Uschnig and Florian Klingler, 2 Austrian climbing stars who did not advance to finals. But Stefan Rest is back on stage like last week.
Yeah, exactly. Fresh out of high school and making finals every week. And got a tricky start on men's one. It's not a slab, but it's a technical boulder. Lots of different ways of starting. It might even be possible to start facing out and then into this press position.
Yeah, there are always more ways. Of course, there are 4 tapes for the starting position, which means you need to have 2 hands and 2 feet on the gray volumes there. Either right or left, no matter, but all 4 limbs have to go where these tapes are. In this case, 2 tapes for the left volume and 2 tapes for the right volume. That's the starting position. Then of course we have the zone hold and the most important hold, which is the top.
Yeah, it was a very entertaining semi earlier on, and as we said, the climbers with 3 tops made it through, and anyone with less than 3 tops didn't make it. Stefan being the 6th placed climber in the semi-final, so he is out first in the final. Nobody got Boulder 4 done in the semi-final, so nobody actually managed to get 4 tops. The route setters were a little bit frustrated. They said there was a method that nobody found that actually made it pretty doable, but hey-ho. We got a good show anyway, and we've got 6 finalists through, and no ties. Everyone's separated on attempts, either to top or attempts to zone.
Yeah, and Stefan actually managed to climb in finals last week. As I said already, he finished in 6th position. He won the Austria Cup in bouldering in Klagenfurt in the juniors category and placed 9th at the European Youth Cup in Delft in bouldering in 2018. He's definitely satisfied with his semi-final performance.
Yeah,
tricky start, huh?
Yeah, and it was a good illustration in the semi-final of how crucial the start of the semi-final is. The slab was the first boulder up, and in the end, it was the one that counted. The 6 climbers who got the slab done are the 6 climbers we'll be watching tonight. So it just goes to show you've got to be concentrating from second number 1 at this level. Stefan Rest, as it stands, no significant progress, or certainly no zone, let alone top yet on boulder 1. As I say, you go into this tricky press, squirm out left delicately, and then come back right. There's 2 pretty technical boulders to start, because up next on boulder 2 is the slabs. That's 2 technical ones and then 2 physical ones for the climbers this evening.
Doesn't quite manage. He tried to change his feet there and put the left foot on the higher orange volume, which is definitely the way to go, but couldn't quite manage to get into that position.
Yeah, it's really tricky. You've got to exert a lot of force with the right hand, because that's basically what's keeping you on the wall, but also move your feet quite delicately, which even with my basic understanding of physics, is quite a tricky thing to do.
But now he managed to get the foot up high, which is definitely the way to go. But he calls it a day on boulder number 1.
Still looking up at it. Of course, the climbers have had observation, as they do in a World Cup, 2 minutes per boulder, and they observe them en masse, all look together and share or don't information. Kim Marschner out next, young German climber. Top 10 in both boulder and lead in the German championships, which is no mean feat when you think about how many good climbers they've got.
Yeah, Kim is 22 years old and has already started in 20 World Cups so far. So he has quite some experience when it comes to world-class climbing. Takes his chalk bag with him, which is interesting. Some of the climbers don't do it. Kim obviously prefers.
He's got 2, hasn't he? He's got his chalk bucket and his chalk bag.
And his chalk bag. Enough chalk, I would say.
And a different method of starting. As Anna said, it doesn't matter where you put your 4 limbs, as long as they're spread out according to the number of pieces of tape. So he chooses to put both feet on the right, both hands on the left. As I say, the route setter was saying you can start it facing out, but it might make the initial stand-up not too bad, but it's actually harder to then turn around. But we might see someone try something really different.
Yeah, and Kim tries to crimp the edges of the volume. Might not be too comfortable with holding on to
It's
nothing.
a really strong start from him.
Does a good job though in getting into this position. Stefan had a hard time getting there. Come on now. The zone is a little bit better than the holds before. Yep, manages to stick it. Nice job.
So there's a couple more tricky moves out right. You get that orange volume there, and then your feet kind of involuntarily, I'm told, swing out right and kick that grey and white volume. And then you're going for the top. And the top's pretty much a jug, but it's just got that other hold on top of it to block it, so you can't launch for it. You've got to go in control, but it is a good hold.
Now he makes good use of his chalk bag. And as you can see, he really has to trust his feet now. These volumes are no good at all. Yep, that's theoretically the method. I think he understood that.
He's thinking about pulling straight back on, I think, but it really looked from his face like he was trying pretty hard. He might be advised to just take a little rest.
Yeah, sometimes it's worth to brush the holds and to rest, if only to reset your mind.
It looks one of those surprisingly tiring boulders.
Why is that surprising?
Well, it's not particularly steep. There's no really spectacular, powerful moves, but you're just kind of squeezing for a minute.
That's true, but the problem is that all these athletes are world-class athletes. And all these boulders aren't easy. Come on, I mean. They'll be surprisingly fatigued tonight, I would say. Really does a good job in this lower section. Yeah, you can see that these holds are definitely no good. It's hard to hold on to volumes without any edge. There are no screw holds on. It's, only a volume.
And again, dual texture volumes. We've seen them a lot here over the course of this competition. The grey bit is good. The white bit is useless. So you're limited in where you can hold the volume, and including that starting volume as well. It's just a little too tired for another go, sadly. But made light work of it up to the zone.
Yeah, zone first attempt. Stuck the zone in the first try, which is good.
Out next will be Max Kleesattel, who looked super strong last week and finished 4th, and backed it up this week, finished 4th in the semi-finals.
Max is actually from the same area than Kim is, from Schwäbisch Gmünd. So I guess these two will train a lot together. And we'll see who will be climbing stronger tonight.
Yeah, German youngsters have been looking incredibly strong out throughout the last 2 days of competition.
Yep,
and last week
true.
as well.
Max is 1 year younger than Kim, 21 years old, and has started at 3 World Cups so far.
Just tried to do the foot swap quickly and fell in the process, but no trouble getting stood up.
Yeah, Max is giving the holds a good brush. That's really important, because as you walk around on the mats, of course your shoes will always have a little bit of chalk, and so he tries to rub it off on his pants. Come on, Max. It looks tricky to get the foot up. I wonder whether this might be a problem for the not that flexible, or for the climbers who are not as flexible.
So creeping out left again. This was the foot swap. Yeah, he tries to do it quickly again.
Yeah, just like Stefan, the first climber we saw, he has some troubles changing or swapping feet on this grey starting volume. Tricky boulder.
So Kim Marshner got the zone on his first attempt, so he'll be ahead of Max unless Max can find a top. 2 minutes to go. 4 minutes flat, of course.
And if you didn't watch any of the Austrian Climbing Summer Series and you are watching right now and wondering why a German climber is climbing, the reason is that the Austrian Federation made a concept, and only Austrian athletes were at first supposed to start, but then the numbers were quite good in Germany and Switzerland, which are neighboring countries to Austria. So the Ministry of Sport decided that the Austrian Confederation could invite 4 athletes from Germany and 4 from Switzerland to this Austria Climbing Summer Series. That's why you'll see German and Swiss athletes alongside Austrian athletes on the mats. Of course, we would have loved to have the World Cup in Innsbruck, but due to the current situation, that wasn't possible.
There's lots of things we'd have loved to have done this year.
That's true.
They all got cancelled.
Yes, I believe that since China cancelled all World Cups for this year, I think these athletes are happy that they can actually compare themselves and compete
Yeah.
at a certain level on
Yeah.
right now this summer.
Well, it's great for us. We waited a long time for this, and it's great for the athletes.
Yeah, and of course it's a pity for all those who couldn't join. Yeah, we'll hope that... I saw that Akio posted that the Japanese Federation is trying to get a Japan Cup. Not 100% sure about that, but yeah, we'll see how many comps we'll actually get to watch this year.
Let's have a look at Max Kleersattel's final attempt. Hasn't probably got time to top the boulder, but he's got time to get the zone. Just 5 seconds now. He has to be quick. Can't quite manage it. Yeah, don't worry, by the way. There is more comp action to come. 3rd and the 6th of August, we're live in Imst, that most famous of lead climbing venues for the lead part of the Austria Climbing Summer Series. So a little more comp action coming your way.
Ooh, and now one of the big favorites is out on the mats.
Yes, Sasha Lehmann, World Cup winner in lead, World Cup finalist in Boulder, true all-rounder, and looked a little bit rusty, I felt, last week, but not this week. Really looked back on form, looked strong in the qualifiers, looked strong again in the semi-final. Maybe needed last week just to remember how to do this competition thing.
Of course, he was still in finals last week. But you're right that the impression today in semi-finals, he looked so confident and 100% in comp mode. So I'm curious to see or what kind of performance he'll show us tonight. Gives the boulder a brush after this first attempt.
Yeah, we've pointed it out. Sorry to point it out again if you've been watching us all along, but the climbers get their own brushes throughout the competition. There are no brushes. They have joined the ranks of the unemployed, sadly, brushers. It is now climbers doing their own brushing, and they keep the brush all the way through the round.
Yeah, this
for
is
coronavirus reasons.
This is just one of the restrictions. We also don't have any crowd. Charlie and I are sat in the back of the, not in the back of the wall, but we're looking at empty seats. We can only see the athletes that were climbing in qualification and semi-final. And then there's the climbers out on the mats, the judges, the route setters, the TV production, and that's about it. So less than 60 people or less than 70 people, let's say, in this hall.
Maximum. Hey, Sasha Lehmann's looking good here on this zone. This is a tricky move, and he's got the right idea.
Yeah, stuck the zone. Second try.
So that'll put him into second place for now, even if he can't find a top. Kim Marshner got the zone first go.
But Sasha will definitely be looking at the top hold here. He knows the method now. That's a tricky first boulder. 1 minute 30 seconds left on the clock. Guess he'll be waiting a couple more seconds before he gives it another go.
By the way, if you're wondering what that is in the background, we're right by the railway arches here in Innsbruck, and that is a train going past.
Or the high jumping mat. Or how do you call it? Not high jump.
Pole vault.
Pole vault.
Yeah, we're in an
Yeah.
athletics arena next to the Kletterzentrum, and there's all sorts of athletic stuff, including the pole vault, which is right in front of the stage. Apparently it couldn't be moved, so it's still there. The camera guy is doing a good job of filming around it. And Anna and I are sitting by the 20-meter mark of the long jump pit.
Yeah, the athletics hall is right behind the Kletterzentrum. And this wall, maybe you know this wall from the World Championship in Innsbruck that took place in 2018, 2 years ago already. Time flies, and maybe Sasha will fly to the top, but no.
I thought he had it then.
That was a good try.
I think Sasha thought he had it.
Yeah, that's true. He has just enough time for one more final attempt. 20 seconds left on the clock.
I don't think that's time to climb such a precise boulder, but you never know. Time ticking away, 12 seconds now.
Come on, Sasha, you gotta be quick now. 10 seconds.
No, time is up. Frustration there. I could be wrong, but it looked like he thought he had it.
Yeah, it looked really, really good. It was an amazing try. Let's rewatch this extremely close try from Sasha Lehmann. Manages to get to the zone. Yep. With the toe hook moves, crosses over, which is a really nice idea, and now bam, has to go.
No, perhaps he didn't think he had it. In real time, it looked like he was there a little bit longer. Georg Palmer's out now, 13th here last week in part 1 of the Summer Series.
Georg just climbed his first 9A, a long-standing project for him, so he's definitely in good shape. He's from Lower Austria but lives in Graz. Last year he was injured. He injured his wrist, but now he's back and highly motivated to show his best in this final of the second part of the Austrian Climbing Summer Series. Georg was 21st at the World Cup in Bouldering in Wujiang last year and 17th at the World Championship in Lead in Innsbruck in 2018.
Yeah, that injury came at a pretty bad time for a young climber. But he's back now and looking pretty handy on this boulder.
Yeah, it took the time to heal it and sticks the zone.
There's a lot of Georg Palmer to fit in that small gap.
Come on, Georg.
But he's managed to do it and he's got himself out now.
Yep.
Completely different method, but he's got the foot out. Big cheer from the crowd. Could be we be on for a first top. Oh!
No way!
He won't get much closer than that.
Oh, he's breaking my heart. How did he let go now? Oh, that is heartbreaking. But he has 1 minute 20 seconds left on the clock, so all he has to do right now is focus. Oh, he almost had it, and then his foot slipped and he's back on the mat. I couldn't still believe it himself. Oh, that was too bad.
I did actually ask the setters, could you hand jam the top? Because it doesn't look that secure. But they said, no, it's good, it's good. But it doesn't look that good. He slipped out of it when he had one hand on it.
Yeah, the question always is, what is good? I mean, the route setters here, Martin Hammerer, who's the chief, Florian, we have Andreas Matuszka and Joch Verhoeven, and these are strong climbers themselves. So if they say hold is good, then I wouldn't quite say that it's as good as you would want it to be. But I still hope that Georg will be able to finish that boulder. He'd be the first one in this final round. Come on now.
Dabbed the hold, testing the limits of a controlled starting position, but judges seem happy enough.
Come on, Georg. This is a tricky foot swap. Oh, a lot of people had problems, and Georg does as well. Too bad. Luckily, I read the time wrong before. I told you he has 1 minute 20, which was not correct. Now we heard the 1 minute beep. So 1 minute to go for Georg. One last try to show us a top on boulder number 1. Come on, Georg. And of course it's frustrating because he knows that he can do it.
I think it must be really hard to get over that frustration on this kind of boulder as well, where you can't take your aggression out. You have to be really calm.
Yeah, you really have to focus. Wow. This foot swap is super technical.
He looks really solid on this section, so let's see if he can have another look at the top. 20 seconds to go. That's plenty of time for this move. Can Georg Palmer do it? It would be the first top of the boulder.
Now concentrate.
Yes, he can. 10 seconds to spare and he gets it done. We actually cut away at the crucial moment. I had to look up at the wall, but he did do it.
And that, of course, puts him in a very nice spot at the beginning of this final. The first climber, yep, he's satisfied, to top boulder number 1. And there's only one man left.
Yes, Jakob Schubert makes his way out. He's won more World Cups than any of the other competitors in this final have even entered. Not to mention 3 World Championships and 3 World Cup seasons. No doubt who the favourite is, but the pressure's on now and he'll know that Georg Palmer topped.
Yeah, and he'll be pleased not to start out with a slab. I think he'll enjoy the boulder. Jakob has won 21 World Cups, 3 in bouldering, 18 in lead. Triple world champion. Qualified for the Olympics.
It's a good CV. It's a really good CV.
Definitely, yeah.
I give him that.
And that's not all. I mean, he also climbs a lot outside. He has climbed up to 9B plus Perfecto Mundo in Spain. And he's also climbed several 9Bs with Planta de Shiva or Fight of Light.
I was about to say, he's not made a legal start, but he has now. Jakob clever enough to know that. Doesn't need me to tell him how to start the boulder. Did it a slightly awkward way.
Yeah, and he's struggling on this first part of the boulder. Gives it a proper brush. Jakob actually grew up in Innsbruck. He lives in Innsbruck still. He can bike here easily from his home. Shares a flat with Misha Bikolwart.
Yes, 2 qualified Olympians.
Yep. There's also Alfons Dornauer in the same flat, another World Cup athlete. And Luki, all sharing a flat.
So where Jakob go? Yeah, it looks a really uncomfortable way to start.
Yeah, it's not easy getting your foot up. That's how he validates the starting position. Not the easiest method, maybe. Now comes the tricky foot swap on the gray volume. Come on, Jakob. Yeah, does it nicely this time. Come on now, man.
Tongue sticking out as he concentrates, trying to get that left foot out. He's definitely been put under a little bit of pressure here and clearly feeling a bit of pain somewhere. You think that could be the toes just from pushing down?
I think he's actually just annoyed by not climbing the boulder right away. But that's a speculation, I don't know. Of course, he knew that Georg did it right before him, so he knows that it's, yeah, he should be able to climb this boulder.
And also knows he'll be behind if he doesn't do it.
Yep.
He really likes his starting method.
Yeah, now he actually has the right starting position. Remember, 4 tapes for 4 limbs, 2 hands, 2 feet. And now he needs to get over that first part of the boulder. Once he sticks the zone, I believe that he could be the second one to top it, but he still has to get there. So far, no zone for Jakob. Kim, Sasha and Georg were able to reach the zone.
It's so awkward this, because as I say, you've got to press up with the hands. So that's pressing you down, but then simultaneously get the weight off your feet so that you can swap them over. Really,
come on, Jakob.
Not an easy thing to do, and the foot is slipping, and with 12 seconds to go, that will be it for Jakob. So it's Georg Palmer who leads the way so far, not even a zone for last week's winner and the favourite Jakob Schubert.
Yeah, so 3 climbers didn't get any zone. That is Stefan, Max and Jakob. Kim and Sasha got the zone on boulder number 1, and Georg was the only one to top this boulder. Comfortable place to be in for Georg.
And now we move on to another technical boulder. We're onto the right-hand side of the wall, the slab. was really where the final was decided. All 6 climbers here climbed the slab in the semi-final and no one else did. So in theory we've got the 6 slab experts here, but each slab is different. This one, yeah, very different from the one in the semi-final.
Yeah, also a slab is not a slab. You could even have a jump in a slab. Sometimes this one looks as if it's already hard to start.
Stefan Rest is back out now.
Stefan also brought a carpet to brush or to clean his shoes, which really makes sense on these slabs because you have to trust your feet 100%. And if your shoes are chalk, or if there are remains of chalk on your shoes, definitely hinders the ability to stand on those volumes. So it's clever to clean the shoes before giving it an attempt. Stefan was surprised about last week's final, actually. He didn't expect it. As we already mentioned, he just finished high school and didn't have as much time to train. And sometimes, you know, that's what helps, because a lot of people tend to train a lot, and it helps if you reduce the amount of training, because resting is crucial as well in climbing.
Certainly seems to be helping him, judging by the past 2 weeks. Couldn't quite find a way on that one. The next hold up from there is the zone, so no zone for him just yet. Very tenuous move, trying to get that left foot over. See their time ticking away. Route setting team off to the right, just watching on, no pressure.
Yeah, of course, the route setters want to see a top on every boulder, but they also want to separate the finalists, so it's a tough job.
They got their wish on the first boulder, 1 top from Georg Palmer, nothing from Stefan Rest, who we're watching now, and he hasn't yet claimed a zone on this one either.
Yeah, time is ticking away. Come on, Stefan. Yep, start is fine. Now he really has to trust his feet, lean over, and get his foot ideally up on this tiny little screw hold that you can see where his right knee is. Yep, that's the way.
Yeah, you can barely look at it. Now
Nice.
he's up to the zone. This looks pretty handy from Stefan. If he can get his foot on top of either volume, right or left, he's got it on top of the right. He stands a chance. It's not a great top hold though. You need to go in control.
Come on now.
Could do with getting his left foot engaged, but doesn't need it. Finds the top. First climber out, tops the slab. Took a bit of work, but he got there.
Wow, good job by Stefan. He already showed us his slab skills in semifinals, and he is definitely a slab specialist. Nice work by Stefan. Matching that top hold. The zone might be okay, but that top hold is horrible. And you really trust your foot in order to match it. Wow, he only grabs it with his thumb.
Yeah, it's dual texture hold again, only the underside is any good, so you can't squeeze it or anything, you've got to push up into it.
Yeah, nicely done by Stefan.
Fires him up the rankings, only the second person to top a boulder today. Kim Marshner, next climber out. One zone for him so far, so if he can top the boulder, he'll move into first place. He'll be the only climber as it stands with the top and 2 zones. And again, he'll be well aware the boulder's just been topped.
Yeah, so he knows that his job is to top the boulder as well. Lots of pressure for these climbers, lots of different psychological issues that come up during a final. Yeah, now you gotta go fast to the zone. Oh no.
I was about to say, I think you saw an advantage of being slightly shorter there.
Yeah.
Looks slightly easier to get his foot tucked in.
Yeah, but then he really has to go dynamically to this zone hold. Of course, you could go slow, but if you go fast, the zone should be good enough to stick it.
Yeah, the zone is, by international competition standards, not bad. We saw...
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, Charlie.
we saw Stefan Rest get it and look quite solid on it. Solid enough to kind of reset and figure out what to do with his feet.
And now the zone is the whole purple volume that you can see on your right-hand corner. If the tape would be only pointing to the screw hold, then it would only the screw hold would be valid. But since the whole volume has the tape on, it's okay even if you only touch the volume. But you're really aiming for the hold because the volume is no good at all. And he goes for the slow version. Nicely done.
Kim Marshner, you feel like you're living it with him. He's got his facial expressions are so clear. But you can see again, gets himself set up on the zone. And this last move, much as it's tenuous,
come on,
doesn't look too bad. But you can see he had the advantage of being shorter earlier on. Didn't look like it helped him at the top, but it matters not. So another top. So both the first climbers out finding a top. I suspect the way to separate yourself on this boulder is to do it first go. Both climbers requiring a couple of attempts. Well, Stefan required 6 attempts.
Yeah, Kim did it in the second attempt, and he decided to palm the top hold. I don't know if you saw it, but Stefan used his 2 thumbs to get the top, whereas Kim used his palm with one hand and then touched it with the second hand. So always various versions. Let's see what Max can show us in this tricky slab boulder. And he knows that his teammates, Kim just topped it. Not quite. That's a balancey start.
Kim Marshner, first German out, topped it. Now it's Max Kleesattel's time to shine.
Come on, Max. Yep. Correct starting position. Come on now. Now he has to lean over towards the right volume, then change his feet on the lower volume and get his left foot on the tiny little screw hold.
You can see the climbers struggling to look down. Their left arm's in the way.
Yeah.
They don't want to put their head out to look because it'll shift their center of gravity. It looks absolutely desperate. He's doing it by feel, basically.
And this tiny little screw is also a dual texture, so there's not a lot of texture.
It would be bad if you could use all of it, but you can only use half of it.
Yeah. Will he use the palm or the thumb on this top hold?
Yeah, Max, again, one of the shorter climbers.
Oh, come on.
Oh, somehow managed to hold it.
Yep.
So one palm on the right hand and a thumb on the left hand is enough for Max Kleesattel. So the slab falling to everyone so far.
And we're down. Yeah, he uses the same method as Kim. Just before him. Opts for the palm and then the thumb to change hands. Good job from Max on boulder number 2.
Sasha Lehmann, the 4th climber out.
Back to the top 3 from semi-finals.
Yeah. Of course, the order doesn't change in a boulder final, so Stefan Rest will be the first climber out onto every boulder, and Jakob Schubert will be the last climber out.
He already won the World Cup in VR last year.
Yeah, which sadly has been cancelled for this year, along with most of the other World Cups, but I enjoy VR.
Yeah, and China just announced that they will cancel all the IFC World Cups this year, which is, of course, a bummer. But according to the situation, yeah, no big surprise maybe. And Sasha is struggling on this first part of the slab. Chalking up again. He is 22 years old, lives in Burgdorf, close to Bern. And also just climbed the 9A in Raül, climbing area of Switzerland. That climb was actually established by Swiss strongman Cédric Lachard. Maybe some of you know him. He was a World Cup winner as well. And now Sasha is on the zone in a quite comfortable position. Will he manage to press?
He did that move quite an unusual way. Left his right hand down and swung his right hand out past it, but it worked. And he's got one thumb and he's got the other finger. Oh, actually slipped, I think, as he fell off the boulder, Sasha. I'm not sure he could have stayed there for forever.
Yep, and he decides to match this hold with the thumb and the hand. Good job. We can see the fist of success.
Georg Palmer can take the lead. I mean, the win is actually in Georg Palmer's hands. If he just does what everyone else does from here on out, he's going to win. But
yeah, we're far from deciding
lead.
The winner here, but we're on boulder number 2, and Georg is the only one who climbed boulder number 1, and he is one of the slab experts, I would say. He's definitely one who enjoys slab climbing, and yeah, he knows that the other climbers have topped this boulder, and that's what he wants to do as well.
So rocks on. He'll know the boulder's been topped lots of times, so attempts are clearly going to be the separator on this boulder. So I think quite sensibly doesn't rush.
Yeah, it really takes his time. Wow. Other climbers used their foot on the right-hand side, but they were all smaller. Georg is one of the tallest climber in this final. So therefore he has to use different methods.
It was good actually to see a close-up of that hold. It's terrible.
Yep, it's a tiny dual texture screw hold.
Ooh.
And you have to trust your feet 100% on this slab.
So nobody has yet flashed this boulder. Stefan Rest got it on his 6th attempt, and 2nd attempt from the other 3 climbers who've topped it. Just over half the time remaining for Georg.
Come on, Georg.
So
does he go straight to the zone?
Yeah, I think he's considering it.
He's definitely thinking about it.
It is a pretty good hold, but it's a long way.
Yep, definitely better to put your foot on the tiny screw hold. Come on, Georg.
You can see it's really fun to watch. The climbers have to get their left arm out of the way so they can see where to put their foot. And speaking of the left arm, it's just a little short there.
I thought
the zone.
Almost had the zone there. Gives the boulder another good brush. Yeah, it's really hard not to rush it on a slab, especially if time's ticking away. He has 1 minute to go, 1 minute 5 seconds. Come on, Georg, you can do it. Will he be able to stick the zone? Everyone who stuck the zone topped the boulder so far.
Yeah, the top section doesn't look nearly as hard. This move here really looks to be the crux. And this time he finds it. 40 seconds to go, plenty of time. So he can just take it slowly, get the feet sorted out, find a position he likes. And being a bit taller, much as it might have hindered him lower down, should help him a little bit here. can get that bit closer to the top hole, press underneath it, and he finds a second top. So Georg Palmer will go on to Boulder 3 in the lead.
Yeah, that was important for him now, obviously. He has now climbed 2 boulders and is leading the pack.
Yeah, Jakob Schubert cannot catch him. In fact, yeah, Jakob, the best he can do actually is move up into 3rd, even if he flashes this boulder, because he didn't get anything out of the first boulder. So Jakob out on the mats, ready to get stuck in.
Yeah, the pressure's on for Jakob because he knows all the other climbers top the boulder. He's not especially excited about the slabs in general. So, yeah, kind of tricky for him now. But I am sure he'll be dealing with this kind of pressure as he's dealt with different kinds of pressure over the years. He is a very experienced climber.
Quite amazing, really. So much success and yet still so motivated.
29 years old and 100% professional. Yeah, I have never seen him not motivated for comps, I have to admit. Usually Jakob's definitely psyched to have a good battle. He is on the slab right now. I'm not 100% sure whether you can still see something. We cannot on our screen at least. Now we're back as Jakob is leaning towards this purple volume. He has to trust his feet on the zone. Perfect.
So safely up to the zone for Jakob. Should bring it home from here. Again, chooses that method where he leaves the palm down, swings the right leg past it. And gets stood up, 1 palm on the top, 2 palms on the top. Jakob on the board after a bad start on number 1. Let's have another look at this method. You see, leaves the right hand down, right foot out.
Yeah, 2 tries from Jakob. So nobody managed to flash the slab, but him, Max, Sasha and Jakob climbed the slab 2nd try. Georg needed 3 attempts and Stefan 6. And now we're moving over to the left-hand side of this wall, the steepest part of the wall.
Yeah, we've had 2 very technical boulders, albeit quite tiring in the case of number 1, but we're very much onto the physical boulders now. Really burly one, this. Hard first move, hard second move, swing out. The last move doesn't look easy either.
Yeah, and the men didn't have a lot of rest in between because a lot of people climbed the boulder 2nd try, the slab, so the rest wasn't huge, and now they'll need all they've got.
That is the way to do that move as well. Ideally, if you can control your feet a little bit more, though, it'll help you out.
And Stefan is using some liquid chalk. Liquid chalk helps you dry out your skin a little bit more than normal chalk, so it's usually a good idea. Compared to last week, the temperature is a lot better today, I would say.
Yes, yeah, it was really hot last week, but this week, pretty chilly outside, actually. Been a damp day here in Innsbruck, and the temperature's pretty good for climbing in here. Maybe a little warmer than you would ideally like, but certainly cooler than last week. Now you can see, again, not an easy start position, holding those 2 crimps, and then you got a big jump here.
Trying the heel hook, wow, and it works. I mean, this hold that he just heel hooked on is super tiny. I'm surprised that that heel hook worked out.
Yeah, his
He must
feet,
be good at heel hooks, Stefan.
well, his feet really cut loose on the first attempt. So
But I think
Doesn't
it's
run out
definitely,
again.
it saves some power if you're able to stick the heel hook. When it comes to heel hooks, I always have to think of Domen Skofic from Slovenia, who uses a lot of heel hooks all the time, or Magdalena Röck from Austria. Some heel hook experts out there in the climbing scene. And Stefan seems to be one of them. Will he try it again?
he's
Yep.
looking for it.
Definitely does. I think he had a good feeling on that hook. Wow, makes it work.
Yeah, now
Nice
he's
job.
really underway, but that's a hard position to hold if the feet do cut loose. Stefan Rest doing really well here. The whole blue volume that he went for then is the zone, not one specific hold. And I was about to say he won't have enough time, but he's actually got 1 minute 10 left, not 10 seconds.
And this is not the method that the route setters actually intended, but there are always multiple ways to solve a boulder problem. And Stefan is definitely trying the heel hook version of the climb. One good go to go.
So he's trying the heel hook again. And I think that last attempt was probably the one.
Yeah.
25 seconds to go. He might have another go. I'll be impressed if he can stick this move to the zone. He won't have time to top the boulder, I wouldn't imagine. A climber's really testing the limits of a controlled starting position, I have to say.
Yeah, that's true. Not
No,
enough.
not this time.
Not enough time, power and skin, I believe, to solve boulder number 3.
Kim Marshner out next. Actually currently sitting in second place. He's got both zones so far and the top. You can see it there, trails Georg Palmer. What can he find on this one?
Yeah, Georg in front of Kim, Sascha, Jakob, Max and Stefan as it stands now. Kim also gives it a proper brush.
It's been a fun climber to watch. As I say, you feel like you're on there with him.
Yeah, we've got really nice camera angles, I would say.
Yeah, this crane camera's great. Need to invest in one of these.
He's opting for this dynamic version, and he uses the toe hook, which is the right method if you ask the route setters. Come on, Kim. Almost.
Wow, no lack of effort. Immediately takes a look at the pads on his right hand. Skin will certainly be becoming an issue after 5 boulders in qualifying, 4 in the semis, and well, we're on the 3rd one this evening.
Yeah, all these holds are brand new, and usually it's really tough on your skin.
It's like sandpaper.
But Kim really powered through that first section of the boulder. Looked super solid, and yeah, maybe he'll be able to show us the first top on boulder number 3.
Just over half his time remaining. Presumably we'll go for a similar method. He was strong enough to do it without much input from the feet.
Yeah, and I don't think that he realized that there is a heel hook, and then you have to make the heel hook stick, which is not easy. So he's going for the other method now with the heel hook on his right foot. He's one of the shorter climbers today. I'm not even sure if a heel hook will be good for him in order to reach that next zone.
Yeah, you can see, this is what I was saying earlier, the whole of that blue volume is the zone. It's not, so if you get any of the holds on it, you've got the zone. It's quite unusual we see a volume being the zone and it's got multiple holds on it.
So Kim actually held the zone in his previous attempt.
Yeah, I guess so.
I believe he did.
He got a good hand on it. He's not been awarded it on our scores yet, but that's not to say he doesn't have it. Suddenly looking a bit tired now with a minute to go.
Yeah, and he only has a minute left, so he can't really rest. He'll have to give it another go shortly.
And he'll know he's got a pretty physical challenge coming up on number 4 as well, so still a lot of hard climbing to go for Kim.
Although in finals, usually you have enough time in between boulders to rest long enough. In semis, that's a different story. You only have 5 minutes. Come on now. Ah! And he's going again. Wow, this man got power. Come on, Kim.
Just a little short and a little frustrated, I think. So Kim Marshner heads backstage, gets a round of applause from the small number of people that were allowed in.
Didn't get the zone, apparently, on boulder number 3.
Here comes Max Clearsattel. 4th last time out in the Austria Climbing Summer Series.
He's also a very powerful climber.
He'll need to be.
He climbed superbly last week on that same angle. That, of course, a different boulder problem, but I believe he really likes the steep terrain. I'm not sure if he likes the tiny crimps that he has to work through.
No, we will soon find out.
Come on, Max. The orange hold is okay, but the crimp he's going to is
it's
not good at all. Come on,
These are the sushi holds from last week, aren't they?
Yeah, you're right.
The Magoro's the pink one. They're just missing the Ebi.
Missing the Japanese World Cups, are you?
Fortunately, it's a good one in Innsbruck, so I indulge myself. Might go tonight.
Yeah, but nothing compares to sushi in Japan. Okay, from sushi we're back to Max Clearsattel. Come on now. Powerful start. He has to get over to that right hand crimp and now ideally swing the feet. Yep, that's what he does. Toe hook. A toe hook would be good.
Just chooses to push.
But can't quite stick it. If you have the toe hook, of course, it's harder to get, to pull off. But then it's easier to hold once you're at the height of the hold up there, because the toe hook kind of squeezes you into the position.
And I guess if you're pushing with your right foot, as you come towards it, it kind of pushes you off.
That's the problem. It's not easy to stick that hold if you don't have a toe hook. Of course, if you have a ton of power, then you can probably still do it without the toe hook. But the easier version is definitely with the toe hook on the right-hand side on the big pink volume that Max is staring at right now. He was our finalist last week as well. He's back in finals, placed 4th at the first part of the Austrian Climbing Summer Series.
Yeah, 4 of the finalists the same actually. Max, Stefan Rest, Sascha Lehmann and Jakob Schubert, Georg Palmer and Kim Marshner, who are the new finalists this week.
He placed 4th at the German Championship in Bouldering last year. And of course that's a strong statement, because Jan Hoyer, Alex Megos, Yannick Floe, all of these strongmen were there as well. They're missing out tonight, but we're glad that Max is here to join us in this final.
Let's go.
Pulls back on again. Oh, I just missed that. Never quite got set up right. 40 seconds left.
It would still be enough time, but is there enough power in Max Kleesattel and enough finger strength to hold these tiny crimps that he has to hold without feet? Not this time.
So no top so far, no zone so far. This boulder causing all sorts of problems. Sasha Lehmann will be next out. We've still got Georg Palmer, who's leading the way, and Jakob Schubert still to come as well. But halfway through Boulder 3, and nobody has made much progress.
Yeah, but Sasha is another strongman. I think he will enjoy this powerful boulder on tiny little crimps without good feet. Come on, Sasha.
So gets in position, it fires out to the pinch. Got to be careful, your feet don't touch down.
Not using any feet on this crucial cross move. Oh my God, he has, come on. Get the zone, yep.
Oh,
First
this is
one to
strong
stick it.
stuff from Sasha Lehmann. Latch the zone. Needs to bump across to that orange hole, and then there's only one more move to go. Slaps and finds the sweet spot of that round orange hole. Now you've got a mantle on top of this thing, which after the moves he's done is probably the last thing you want to do. But he's somehow got to get his hands underneath him, press on top of it, and go for the top. Sasha Lehmann looking good for a flash of the as yet untopped Boulder 3, and his hand creeps round to the top, but he can't make it work. It looks absolutely exhausting, this boulder.
Yeah, I wonder whether he should have gone up with the left hand. Crossing over looks extremely hard. Bah. If only he could get his left hand up, that might be a better version. Oh, that's always so much easier to say from down here. Very good effort from Sasha, powering through this first part of the boulder and almost getting the top of boulder number 3.
Oh, that was a bit of a heartbreaker, to be honest. He gave everything to that boulder. There was a couple of moves that you could tell were at the limit, the move up to the zone.
It's just as heartbreaking as the fall on Georg Palmer on problem number 1. Luckily he did it after that fall, so maybe Sasha will follow and do it as well.
Sasha, I have to say, looks a little more tired, and he looks pretty fed up as well.
Yeah, but sometimes that's the little bit of aggression that you need to top a boulder. Sometimes it helps to be a little angry at yourself. And it's definitely a good idea to rest for as long as you can before one final go on this powerful boulder. And sometimes 2 tries are all you have to make, because if he would not rest and give it a lot of tries, that would just tire him and he might run out of power. He already knows the method, he knows what to do. Why not rest until the last minute beep that we heard right now?
That is the beep to signify 1 minute to go. Sasha Lehmann is back on. He knows he can do these moves, but can he do them twice?
He's definitely been compassing a lot, Sasha. Did that move in an excellent way.
Every bit of effort going into this. Now he needs to match that terrible crimp. You can see elbows sticking out. He's definitely getting tired, but he can reset slightly on this big orange hold. It's a change of style. He's been from crimps, he's now hugging that thing. Will he bother trying to get the feet up, or will he try and get one hand first? He goes for the hand first. This time it's the left, but the outcome is the same.
That's heartbreaking. I mean, he was almost there. He was even like getting the left hand up. I'm so sorry, Sasha. You should have. You should have deserved it.
This was the first attempt, or was it the second? I think he went with the right hand first time, yes. So that was the first one. And then
almost had it, but it's dual texture again, Charlie. So where he had it, you really got to grab it around the lip, above the lip. Everything else is no good at all.
Becomes the first climber with 3 zones, though, and that could be crucial.
Yeah, and a really good effort by Sasha. Wow, that was a total,
Now here's a man who's in a good position, Georg Palmer, currently leading.
Could be the first to top 3 boulders. Not sure if it's 100% his style. Please prove me wrong, Georg. I'd love to see a top on boulder number 3.
Auf geht's, Georg Palmer.
Come on.
Genial bisher unterwegs, genial.
Only Stefan Rest used the heel hook on the left starting hold so far. And that just goes to show that this heel hook is not an obvious one and not a good one at all.
No, nobody else seems to... Maybe it's not something they spotted in observation because nobody else has even looked at it. I think it might have been something Stefan just found.
Yeah, it's definitely not obvious. And usually in observation you go through the boulder with your buddies. Yeah, and you point out everything you see because you want them to point out everything they see. So teamwork.
Auf geht's, auf geht's. Georg.
So Georg Palmer getting set again. Big move up now. It's a little crimp. This time he latches it. Looks pretty touch and go. Goes out again with the right hand. Toe hook in place. Decides actually not to use it. Oh, I thought it was just going to hang on. His little finger wasn't actually on the hole. He didn't hit it perfectly.
The toe hook would definitely help. As I said before, I'm sure you can do it without the toe hook, but it saves some power.
Yeah, if that's a cut, he'll have to tape it. They've been really on top of people taping cuts.
Yeah, and especially if the crimps are small and your finger is taped, then you don't have the best friction. You can also feel it on the big volumes, but on crimps I find it especially
Oh, that's a horrible
tricky.
hold.
Yeah, a tiny little squadra chip. Not a good hold at all.
They've also put a blocker hold underneath so you can't pinch the volume. Oh, definitely more fun to watch this boulder than climb it, I think.
I would love to try, but it's Georg's turn, of course. And he also, just like Sasha...
You show him how it's done afterwards.
No way. Last minute beep, and just like Sasha, he takes a good look at the boulder, takes his time, which is a very smart move because it is a tiring and powerful boulder. Come on, Georg. Geht schon. Geht schon, Georg.
Really struggling, I think, with a bit of skin maybe, or I don't think it's a finger injury, a pulley, but something not right on the left hand.
Too bad, he calls it a day on boulder number 3.
So it is left to Jakob Schubert to find a way.
Yeah, no top so far on boulder number 3. Georg still leading the pack though.
So Jakob can put himself into the lead here if he gets this done. Georg Palmer needed to do it to guarantee the lead going into the final boulder. If Jakob does it within 4 attempts, he will move into the lead.
And I think Jakob will like this boulder. It's powerful. You have to hold on to tiny crimps. You don't have good feet. I believe that that's all what Jakob is looking for, actually.
If it's a boulder where you've got to fight, I always think Jakob can do it.
Yep, that's true. Come on, Jökl. Ale. Yep.
Looking very strong through the lower section.
Toe hook? Looks at the toe hook, tries a heel hook, but no, yeah, easy. Goes for the toe hook and already has the zone.
Really looking strong on this boulder, Jakob. Could be about to stamp his authority on this final. Now just needs to mantle up and then slowly creep a hand up. The way, from what we've seen so far, it's actually a bit easier if you don't bother getting your foot involved. Just try and free up a hand.
Just trying to move his foot up onto that pink crimp. Is he going for a different way now? Oh, that's an interesting method.
Possible
trying to
heel
mantle
hook.
that tiny little crimp. What?
So I'm not sure what he's pushing on with his left hand, but it seems to be getting him up. If he could just get his right foot underneath him, he might be able to do it.
I'm sorry, but that's not the way. I think he really has to go. He has to mantle from this orange big bulb.
Can't help thinking this might be it for Jakob as well, because it's so tiring. Already used half his time.
Yeah, but remember this man climbed 9B+, so I think he can stay on the wall for quite a bit.
Yeah, true.
Quite some time. Come on, Jakob.
Squeezing that volume. Heel engaged.
Really?
This looks pretty promising
that
for Jakob.
Really promising.
Oh, the heel pops just as he goes up. What do you think to not using the foot? I mean, if the hand is good enough, do you think you could just reach through?
The problem is that's what Sasha tried.
Yeah.
And it wasn't good enough for him. I think you really want to have that foot in order to establish yourself in a position that you can actually hold the top. Sasha tried without the feet and it didn't work out. So I think it would be better to use it, but of course there are always multiple versions.
See Jakob breathing heavily.
Yeah, he spent quite some time, huh?
Yeah, well over a minute.
But I'm sure he can do it again. It's a good idea to rest until 40 seconds on the clock. He doesn't need much time to do the boulder.
I mean, in a lead final, you get 6 minutes and you never let go, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Powers of recovery should be good enough.
Yeah, and he goes back with 45 seconds left on the clock. Definitely enough time to finish the boulder.
Not planning on spending much time up there, I think. I guess he's made a decision about how he wants to do it.
Yeah, he crimps hard and still has enough power. Come on, Jakob.
See, the bottom section of the boulder's not tiring him out that much compared to most of the other climbers.
Will he use the heel hook again or not?
Yes, he's going to use it, but will it stay?
Come on, you can do it. Ah!
The hand just needs to go
15.
another few centimeters higher, and it's not going to. Jakob Schubert can't quite do it. The boulder does not get top, provided plenty of entertainment though.
Yeah, super interesting final. Good job by the route setters. Wow, and Jakob and Sasha were actually super close on boulder number 3. They could have both topped it in my opinion, but it was not to be.
Jakob made the lower section look easier, but then I think Sasha was probably the closest to actually managing the final move.
Yeah, you're right. Sasha was a little bit further. He was almost at the lip, whereas Jakob was only able to touch the lower part of that pink top hold. Ah, too bad we didn't see a top on boulder number 3.
Yeah, so Stefan Rest in a good position here, can really move himself up the order, could move into second with a top. Really funky looking start here, and then a big jump, and the route setters were saying they hope no one can stop on that red volume. They wanted them to carry on to the zone, but he has stopped and he's made pretty light work of this. Now if this boulder goes down easily, you'd think that's good news for Georg Palmer because he's leading the way, but let's see what Stefan Rest can do. He can't quite turn that good start into a top. Yeah, I was just saying this could be good for Georg Palmer because he's leading the way, and if everyone does the boulder quickly, then he will stay leading the way. He is a top clear of anyone else. He's got 2 and no one else has got more than 1.
Yeah.
So regardless of
I'm
attempts,
disappointed we didn't see a top on boulder number 3.
Yeah, me too. But
that's
if
a bummer.
If Georg can find a way, then to top the boulder, attempts won't matter. He'll win the competition. So he's put himself in a really strong position.
Yeah. So every top now is crucial, also for Stefan. Would be really important to get a top hold, and he was already looking at it on his prior attempt.
He flew through the lower section. He did the jump the way that it's said to be harder, which is where you stop on the red volume. It didn't look too hard, and then went up to the zone no problem, across to the red volume, and just couldn't quite find a way to convert from there.
Can he do it again? Come on,
Here he
Stefan.
goes again on the jump.
Yeah, nicely
stopping
done.
no problem.
Excellent work by Stefan Rest so far.
Tiny little black screw on hole, but not much else on that red volume. Here he goes. You can see the top beckoning, but can he free up his right hand? He's almost managed to do the hand swap.
Really close by Stefan.
Das Finale hier der Summer Series. Stefan Rest.
Yeah, matching this tiny little screw on is super tough. Almost manages to get it, but can't quite turn it around the right way. Barney looks a little fatigued.
He's got time for another go. And I don't think the lower section is tiring him too much. Guess he'll leave the ground with 40 seconds to go, 30.
Yeah, and you can see the officials wearing masks. One of the restrictions or safety requirements today.
Auf geht's.
And Stefan goes again. Yeah, wow, he does the jump super easy.
So plenty of time to really figure out what he wants to do with this hold. Presumably we'll have to execute a hand swap at some stage or just go straight for the top.
Not quite.
Looks over at the clock, less than 30 seconds to go. It could be done.
Definitely could be done. He has 2 zones so far, but the top would obviously move him in a good position in this final of the Austrian Climbing Summer Series, part 2. Come on, Stefan, this is what counts. 8 seconds on the clock. 5, 4, 3, no. He was close multiple times.
Very close. Good attempt. Gets a round of applause from the people in the arena, which is basically people involved with the competition, but they appreciated the effort. And ends up with 1 top and 2 zones. Kim Marshner will be out next, currently in 4th place. As you could see, he could fire up the order, could actually go into 1st place. He'd have 2 tops and 3 zones if he found a way to do this boulder.
Inzwischen 4 für Kim Marshner. Völlig gleich auf mit Joachim Schubert.
Yeah, he was looking strong throughout the competition. Didn't quite like boulder number 3. Climbed, looked strong on the slab though, and did boulder number 2 in 2 tries. Maybe he enjoys this last bit of the puzzle that was set by the route setting team around Martin Hammerer, Florian Murnig, Andi Matuschka and Joch Verhoeven.
Auf geht's. Auf geht's.
Come on, Kim.
And what will he do with the jump? Will he stop? Will he carry on? Tries to carry on. Stopping looks easier.
Yes, it does, I have to say. Also, it always depends on your body type. Kim is definitely one of the smallest climbers tonight, so maybe for him it's not the best option to move to the zone directly, whereas Georg is one of the tallest or the tallest climber tonight. He could maybe go straight to the zone, but for Kim, in my opinion, it looks better to stop at the red volume, just like Stefan did. Yeah, but you can always prove me wrong, obviously. Come on.
Here he goes.
Come on, Kim.
Jumps and carries on, but makes it work.
Nice one. That looked beautiful by Kim. Nice.
Pretty
move.
close to the limit.
Yeah, now we want to see a top from Kim Marshner. Come on now, you got this, man. Ale. The top hold is kind of okay. You got to turn your hand though.
Have to commit out to the right. Only got 3 fingers on it. Will that be enough? Yes, it will. Kim Marshner finds a way. That moves him into 1st place.
Good job. 2 tops in 4 tries.
2 tops and 3 zones. Only the 2nd climber to get 2 tops. And he moves up into first place.
Yeah, 2 tops, 3 zones, and 4 attempts for those 2 tops. But really tried hard now. Beautiful camera angle. Top holds decent, but not huge. You can't jump towards it. Yeah, and there's the clap of success from Max. From Kim Marschner.
So Max Kleesattel and Stefan Rest now not able to win the competition. Even if Max does this, he won't be able to match the 2 tops and 3 zones.
Max can overtake Stefan Rest though.
Auf geht's, Max. Auf geht's.
Come on, Max.
Try to go up again. I wonder if the German team read it together, perhaps. I don't know, but
Yeah,
both
they definitely did.
seem to have gone up.
Usually you always look at the boulder with your teammates or someone who speaks the same language. As there are only German, Swiss and Austrian athletes right now. They all speak the same language because Sasha is from the German part of Switzerland. So I guess they checked it out together. Come on, Max.
Oh, different method altogether.
Nice, uses the volume. Looked very solid. Can he follow his teammate and top this boulder number 4?
This will move him up into second place for now. Doesn't seem troubled at all. Pretty easy top for Max Kleesattel, it would seem. Moves him into second. It's Germany 1 and 2 right now.
Nice job, Max. Smiles. I think he's happy with that top. In the second try. Just like him.
Yep, second try. Both of them topped once they got the zone. Out comes Sasha Lehmann. Now he can move himself up into
first place.
First place, yes.
He can be the first one to have 4 zones.
I think Sasha can do this boulder for sure.
I am 100% sure.
But does he figure it out in time?
Definitely do it. And that would secure him a place on the podium of tonight's Summer Series. He has qualified in 3rd place from the semi-final. Sits in 4th position right now, but if he tops this boulder, he'd be the first one to have 4 zones.
So Sasha now moving out right, decided to stop on the red volume, had no trouble then going up to the zone. Needs to get his body over to the right so that he can creep a hand out and go to the top. Looking very solid so far, and that is a flash from Sasha.
And that means this man is on the podium tonight.
So things are getting really tight now.
It will be extremely tight. Although if Georg manages to climb the boulder, he's the winner of tonight's finals.
Yes.
As he's the only one to climb 2.
Yes, so Sasha Lehmann, as you rightly say, guaranteed his place on the podium. And Jakob Schubert now can't win because even if he tops, he would have 2 tops and 3 zones, which would be less than Sasha's 4. So it's a battle, straight up battle now between Georg Palmer, who we're watching, and Sasha Lehmann. Jakob's not going to make it 2 out of 2. Of course, still a lead to come, and he might fancy his chances there, but he's not going to manage it in the boulder.
Yeah.
Max Kleesattel just walked back out into the arena, looks pretty happy. Fist bump with Urs Stucker, the German coach.
Will it be Sasha Lehmann or Georg Palmer? We will find out in the next 4 minutes.
Even less, yeah. He actually used an awful lot of time just pondering Georg Palmer. Attempts don't matter. If he tops the boulder, he wins.
Too much rotation, could not quite hold the swing on this red volume. I think he knows that, now it's about victory here at the Austrian Climbing Summer Series Part 2. Pressure's on for Georg Palmer. Will Georg win, or will we have the first Swiss victory in this Austrian Climbing Summer Series? Wow. I can feel the pressure. I am
Tension.
nervous. Are you, Charlie?
Of course I am. Of course. Georg Palmer now embarking on attempt number 2. It doesn't matter about attempts.
Now he
Just
just
needs
has
to
to
top the
climb the
boulder.
boulder. But it's not a justice. This is no easy.
He stops on the
Climb.
red volume, goes up to the zone.
Come on, Georg.
Now should be able to reach the top hold a little bit easier than some climbers. Can he use his height to
Come
his
on, Georg.
advantage now? This is for the win in the Summer Series Part 2 from Georg Palmer, and he just got himself a little too far out from the wall. He was pressed in nice and safe, and he just reached around a bit too far.
But he's really making it extremely exciting here for all of us. I mean, he already let go of the first top of the first boulder, of the top hold of the first boulder, if you think back to a couple of minutes before, and now he dropped the top hold of boulder number 4. I hope he'll be able to hold this top hold. He has 1 minute and 15 seconds left on the clock. Tries to calm down now by brushing the holds, but this guy knows what it's about for sure. My nerves are... Come on, Georg. Okay.
What a result this would be. It would be the biggest result of his career so far if he could find a way. He finished ahead of Jakob Schubert and Sasha Lehmann.
2 World
It's a
Cup
big
winners.
result.
I mean,
So Georg Palmer now, he's got loads of time. He'll get himself pressed in securely. Don't make the same mistake again of getting out away from the wall. You
he
seem to
already dropped
creep
the
out.
hold once. Don't drop the top another time, and he doesn't.
He doesn't
Nice.
drop it. Georg Palmer makes it 3 tops. Nobody's going to catch him. He's going to win the second of the Austrian Climbing Series Summer Series events here. What a performance at top of number 1 set him up. Let's have
Nice
another look.
job.
Crept out with the right hand, looked so nervous to commit, and I can understand why, but once he had that sweet spot, he wasn't letting go, and that is the win.
Yeah, and of course he knew what it was about. I mean, but he looked a little bit nervous on these first couple of tries, but held it together and definitely wins this round.
So it'll come down to attempts. Actually, the best Jakob can do now is 3rd, and needs to do it quickly.
He has 1 attempt.
Yes.
He needs to flash this boulder in order to be... No, he has 2 attempts,
Yeah,
excuse
actually,
me, 2
because it would
attempts.
go back to the
My bad,
the last
I
one,
am
but yeah,
sorry,
2
he
attempts.
has 2 attempts.
But this is to collect another medal. Presumably, there's still some space in the Schubert Trophy cabinet. It won't be gold this time.
Come on, Jakob. Of course, he's looking for a flash here. He looked very strong throughout the round. Couldn't quite climb boulder number 3.
Absolutely cruises the lower section of boulder 4, though. And
Yeah, no hesitation there from Jakob Schubert.
got a little battle on his hands now, but no problem at all for Jakob. He'll match, and that will be a top, and that will be another medal for Jakob Schubert. It's not the colour he wants, but 3rd place. It is Georg Palmer who wins. Amazing performance, set it all up on number 1.
Yeah, definitely the dark house tonight. He, Jakob Schubert placed 3rd, and Sasha Lehmann in 2nd position.
We will have a flower ceremony, a kind of mini podium ceremony for you before we disappear. And we'll also have interview with the winner, Georg Palmer, for the German speakers out there. So do stay with us. Doubly so if you speak German and you can understand the interview, but just to watch the podium as well, we will have that shortly. I can see things being taken onto the stage, ready for that ceremony.
Yeah, wow, so the 2 World Cup winners, Sasha and Jakob, in 2nd and 3rd position, and dark horse Georg Palmer wins the 2nd part of the Austrian Climbing Summer Series. What an exciting final. I was super nervous throughout this round. Could have used a good amount of chalk.
So
But I forgot to bring it.
Stefan Rest ends this week's competition as he did last week's in 6th place. Max Kleesattel slips down from 4th to 5th, but 2 finals in 2 weeks represents an amazing couple of events for
Sauerwein ist
him.
sofort
Kim
hierher
Marshall
gekommen,
in his
strahlendes
first appearance in the
Siegergesicht
2
kommt wieder aus dem
finals
österreichischen
and
Team,
fourth.
aber es ist ein Überraschungssieger mit Georg Palmer. Durfte man damit rechnen?
Ja, rechnen ist immer schwierig zum sagen.
Ja,
Natürlich
Kata
würde ich sagen, er war jetzt nicht der Top-Favorit, aber der Georg hat extreme Stärken, gerade in die flachen Sachen, in die koordinativen Sachen. Die hat er super ausspielen können und es ist voll aufgegangen. Ja. Was will man mal sagen? Gratuliere an den Georg.
Am Ende hat er aber doch noch ein bisschen gezittert, also es war keine selbstverständliche Sache am letzten Boulder. Ist ein bisschen eine Nervensache dann auch gewesen?
Ja, das müssten wir nachher wahrscheinlich noch selber fragen. Ist natürlich nicht so leicht, da Ruhe zu bewahren. Er hat natürlich gewusst, er kann das gewinnen und er hat ja wirklich hergekitzelt den Top-Griff nochmal spannend gemacht für alle. Aber umso cooler, dass es aufgegangen ist und dass er dann sich noch geholt hat.
Jakob Schubert war der große Favorit, hat nicht funktioniert, das Problem schon am ersten Boulder gehabt. Es ist einfach auch ein Boulder gewesen, der seine Stärken nicht so wirklich ausspielen hat lassen können.
Ja, der erste Boulder ist natürlich auch ein bisschen um Beweglichkeit gegangen, darum, dass man die Bewegung richtig macht, wirklich eine gute Position findet. Ist es sicher nicht unbedingt sehr stark, aber er ist dran am Arbeiten und es wird schon besser. Es ist manchmal auch ein bisschen, wie man drauf einklettert, dann ob es aufgeht oder nicht. War natürlich schade, ja, dass es nicht aufgegangen ist und ich glaube, er hat trotzdem gesagt, was er eigentlich drauf hat und das erste Mal ist super aufgegangen, hoffentlich das nächste Mal wieder.
Yeah, I'm sure Kata was.
Yeah, so I think we might have just got cut off briefly there. We'll quickly see the podium. Georg Palmer looks like he can't get on there fast enough. Jakob Schubert, not his first time on a podium, unlikely to be his last, as I said. Not the colour of medal that he normally likes to collect, but it is another one for the trophy cabinet. A win and a 3rd place, not a bad start to his competition series this year, in this disrupted year. And Sascha Lehmann, after missing the podium last week, he makes amends this time. The only climber with 4 zones in the final. Came close on all the boulders, but only managed to top 2, hence him being in 2nd place. Only one man managed to top 3 of them.
Yeah, the man of the day is definitely Georg Palmer. Huge smile on his face.
Huge result for him. As I said, the biggest result of his career so far. Collects the flowers, collects the winners. Check. Amazing performance. 3 tops. Nobody else can match him. It didn't come down to attempts, didn't come down to zones. Just came down to tops. He got the job done on Boulder 1. And that, in the end, was crucial. So Georg Palmer wins, Sascha Lehmann in 2nd, and Jakob Schubert in 3rd. We are back in not very long at all. 8:15 we're underway with our live stream, and the final actually commences at 8:30 Innsbruck time, 1 hour and 45 minutes from now. Shortly, thank you for watching. And if the women's final is half as good as that, I'll be pretty happy.
Yeah, join us for the women's final and goodbye for now.
Wie es da gemeint war. Bei diesem ersten Boulder. Ein kleines Rätsel. Und wir sehen uns wieder um 20:15 Uhr. Damenfinale.
Also der große Sieger ist Georg Palmer. Georg, ist das einer der größten Erfolge überhaupt im Elitebereich, wenn man das so sagen kann, ein internationaler Wettkampfsieg?
Ja, auf jeden Fall. Vor allem im Bouldern für mich ist es natürlich ganz besonders, weil ich normal eher im Vorstieg mir das als Ziel gesetzt habe und daher ist Bouldern natürlich auch, der Sieg bedeutet mir sehr viel und bin froh, dass ich irgendwie auch zeigen konnte, was ich im Bouldern drauf habe.
Sie sprechen selbst Ihre Vorstiegsstärke an, aber ich habe vorher die Katja Sauerwein gefragt, ob es irgendwie überraschend kommt, dass Sie hier gewinnen. Sie hat gemeint, nein, überhaupt nicht. Der hat das absolut drauf. Wie schätzen Sie selbst das Ganze ein, den Verlauf auch?
Ich glaube, wenn die richtigen Boulder kommen und der Stil passt, dann kann ich schon auch im Bouldern aufzeigen. Aber natürlich glaube ich, dass ich physisch oder dass der Jakob zum Beispiel schon überlegen ist, wenn es um physische Boulder geht, die man jetzt auch gesehen hat. Und da ist sicher noch was zu machen. Aber ich glaube, wenn der Style passt, dann kann ich schon auch zeigen, was ich kann.
Im Semifinale war es auch schon spannend. Wie wichtig war es dann gleich ins Finale mit diesem sehr positiven Top-Boulder gleich zu Beginn zu starten?
Ja, das war natürlich ein super Vorsprung und es hat sich gut angefühlt, weil man klettert die Runde dann einfach anders, wenn man weiß, man hat quasi das Einzige den ersten Boulder getoppt. Aber ich muss sagen, am Ende war es trotzdem noch ein mentales Battle, möchte ich sagen, weil es war einfach nicht leicht für mich, dann noch alles zusammenzuhalten und das noch zu machen. Ich wollte gerade ansprechen, alle haben schon gesprochen davon, jetzt kann er es machen, jetzt kann er gewinnen, es wird der Georg machen. Aber man hat gesehen, es war doch eine ganz knappe Angelegenheit. Wie schwierig war es, die Nerven unter Kontrolle zu halten dann am letzten Boulder? Mir ist es relativ schwer gefallen, muss ich sagen. Ich war schon sehr nervös und zittrig und ich glaube auch, das war ein bisschen der Grund, warum ich dann im zweiten Versuch oben geflogen bin, im Topzug. Aber Gott sei Dank habe ich es dann noch irgendwie zusammenhalten können. Wollen wir nochmal gratulieren. Gratulation Georg Palmer zum Sieg. Dankeschön. Und wir haben auch den Drittplatzierten hier, wenn wir gleich vielleicht das geben. Den Jakob Schubert, der als Favorit hier hineingestartet ist natürlich in diese Finalentscheidung beim zweiten Wettkampf. Aber es hat schon am Beginn Probleme gegeben. Was war da die Ursache gleich am ersten Boulder?
Ja, der erste Boulder war eigentlich der einzige, der was das Problem war. Bei den anderen Boulder kann ich wieder sehr zufrieden sein, glaube ich. Ja, war ein technisches Problem. Es ist viel darum gegangen, auf die Füße zu stehen. Eigentlich vor allem um den Handballen. Also man hat nicht sehr viel mit seinen Fingern machen können. Auf der bin ich normalerweise ganz stark und da ist es eher um Balance gegangen und ich habe irgendwie nicht die perfekte Körperposition gefunden. Habe schon das Gefühl gehabt, dass ich nah dran war, aber ja, in 4 Minuten kann man sich nicht viele Fehler leisten und leider hat es bei dem Boulder dann nicht hingehauen. Wie groß war da vielleicht auch der Zorn, der Ärger oder kann man das gleich oder können Sie das gleich abhaken und sich auf die nächsten Boulder so konzentrieren und dann positiv herangehen? Ja, natürlich. Also man ist schon enttäuscht natürlich von der Leistung im ersten Boulder. Es ist natürlich gerade, es war ja nicht nur das Top, was gefehlt hat, sondern nicht einmal den Bonus habe ich erreicht. Von dem her hat man dann natürlich gleich einen sehr großen Rückstand, aber gleichzeitig motiviert dann das auch noch mal härter in die nächsten Boulder rein zu probieren, sage ich einmal, weil ja, das Finale habe ich natürlich noch nicht aufgegeben gehabt. Es sind noch 3 Boulder und mit dem muss man umgehen können. Die Erfahrung habe ich natürlich auch schon in der Vergangenheit gemacht und ich glaube, ich habe dann eher ein ganz gutes Comeback noch geleistet. Was kann man jetzt mitnehmen von den 2 Boulder-Wettkämpfen? Wie wichtig war es und wie gut konnten Sie sich auch persönlich da präsentieren in Innsbruck? Ja, ich meine nicht persönlich, aber ein sehr gutes Gefühl. Ich glaube auch die Organisatoren können sehr zufrieden sein. Ich habe das Gefühl, beide Bewerbe waren wirklich richtig cool und auch wenn es ein bisschen was anderes ist ohne ein Publikum, war es mega geil und wir Athleten haben uns voll gefreut, dass wir so einen Bewerb haben können. Gerade ich persönlich bin jetzt mit meiner Leistung auch sehr zufrieden, habe viele von den Runden auch gewonnen. Also ich war jetzt auch bei dem Bewerb über die Qualifikation und das Semifinale gewonnen. Das ist auch was Positives, was man sich mitnehmen kann. Und in dem Finale war auf jeden Fall wieder ein Problem, an dem ich arbeiten muss. Aber ich glaube, das ist wichtig, dass man die Fehler erkennen kann und ist natürlich ein Prozess, in dem ich mich weiterentwickeln will. Okay, danke. Gratulation trotzdem auch an den Jakob Schubert. Danke. Und die Schlussworte hat die Anna Stör. Die Anna kann ruhig ein bisschen näher kommen. Da hinten wird schon kräftig gebaut und geschraubt. Da wird natürlich nicht abgebaut, sondern natürlich umgebaut, denn das große Finale gehört den Frauen. Selbstverständlich, auf das freuen wir uns auch schon. Kommen wir auch noch gleich zu sprechen. War das vom Georg Palmer überraschend?
Ja, er war heute auf jeden Fall, also die Favoriten waren auf jeden Fall der Sascha und der Jakob Schubert. Der Georg hat das Finale von Anfang an aber sehr gut an sich gerissen, muss man sagen. Der Einzige, der den Boulder Nummer 1 getoppt hat und ja, er war heute einfach unschlagbar.
Boulder-Finale der Frauen habe ich schon angesprochen, 20.15 Uhr sind wir dann wieder live hier dabei. Da gibt es auch nach den bisherigen Verläufen heute, Qualifikation, Semifinale, ein ganz enges Duell. Es sind nämlich 2 Damen gleich exakt gleich auf, die Petra Klingler und die Johanna Färber. Was erwartest du dir da für diese Finalentscheidung?
Ja, ich erwarte mir da wirklich ein sehr, sehr knappes Duell, aber man darf nicht vergessen, die Jessie Pilz, die will natürlich auch gewinnen heute. Und dann haben wir auch noch das Dark Horse sozusagen, die Eva Maria Hammelmüller, die letzte Woche den 2. Platz erreicht hat. Also auch bei den Damen wird es extrem spannend und ich freue mich auf das heutige Finale.
Die Routenbauer werden da bis dahin sicherlich schon fertig sein. Wir freuen uns auf 20.15 Uhr. Geht es hier weiter bei uns in OF Sport Plus. Ich sage mal danke Anna und wir hoffen, Sie sind dann wieder mit dabei. Ciao aus Innsbruck.